All right. Well, thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video. My name is Dr. Jim Ruby. I'm department chair for the Department of Human Services at Cal State University Fullerton. Human Services, just to give you a sense of what that is a very broad, diverse degree that helps prepare people to help other people in a variety of different ways. Excuse me, our graduates sometimes go on to become mental health counselors, marriage and family therapists, social workers. We have people who go into probation or law enforcement. We have people who go into law and public health, working in hospitals, working with the aging community and gerontology, a lot of different things. So it's a pretty broad, diverse undergraduate degree that prepares you for a lot of opportunities, substance abuse counseling, all those sorts of things. We send people a lot of different directions. I'm really proud of our program. We've got great faculty and we've got amazing students. And so let me introduce you to the person here's beside me. This is Mr. Sergio Quirarte, who is a graduate of our program. He graduated with his Bachelor of Science in Human Services and then went on and did graduate work and is works as a clinician. He'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. But also, very fortunate for us, we've roped him into coming back. And it's been a few years since he graduated, probably more than I'd like to admit because I had him when he was an undergraduate. Uh,
Yeah.
but uh, but now he comes back and he teaches for us a little. So I'm really grateful for that too. So Sergio, tell the students a little bit about what it is that you do, what your job is, what you are professionally, and your licenses and all that.
Mhm.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I did graduate from Human Services quite a while ago, and I'm now a marriage and family therapist working with through a county contracted agency. So what that means is I'm doing community work as a mental health therapist. I work in LA County, so mostly like East LA and Monte area, and I'm essentially just working with people who maybe have some like mental health issues or maybe just having a really hard time getting through life and need that extra help just to function better and to be better for their families and for themselves. Um, Also, just what I do specifically is I collaborate with medical doctors. So I work with individuals who have chronic physical health conditions. So also, knowing that mental health, it's something that's becoming a lot more um, just known how important it is. And now we're figuring out that it's really important to integrate it with medical health
Hmm.
as well. So what I do my day to day is I provide weekly therapy sessions with all of my clients, and that's just like the basic 1 hour sit with them or now virtually just help them figure out just better ways to manage what they're going through and just better ways to manage what's put on their plate so they could just live a more fulfilling and happy life.
Hmm. That's really cool. And it says a lot about you that you're willing to do that sort of work because I imagine it's pretty hard sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is
Yeah.
very hard,
Yeah.
and it's a lot that I hear every day. It's a lot that I take on, and yet I always knew that I was the type of person who wanted to help. I always knew
Hmm.
I was the type of person who I would feel really good when I knew that I was able to support someone through something, or
Hmm.
if someone came to me and leaned on me for something. That was always something that was so fulfilling for me. So that's why I never really second guessed what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a helper. I wasn't
Hmm.
sure what that would look like or what it would be. But when I found human services, that's
Hmm.
something that really helped me shape that for myself and helped me see
Yeah.
what it is I can do with my life that would be fulfilling for me, that would give me meaning.
Well, great. So let's talk a little bit about that. So you found human services. What did you really enjoy? What did you find really helpful, useful, enjoyable about the our major?
And when I started, I wasn't sure really what I wanted to do, if I wanted to be a social worker, if I wanted to be a therapist, or really what it was. So, what I really enjoyed about human services specifically was how hands on a lot of it is.
Hmm.
And I got a lot of really great training that, speaking with other people that I work with or with friends, they don't really get in a lot of programs.
Hmm.
So, actually learning how to do counseling, actually learning how to have a therapy session
Hmm.
as an undergraduate student was just amazing. And
Yeah.
now, that I'm faculty and I teach at Cal State Fullerton, being able to go back and teach students how to do crisis intervention counseling and just remembering how important that was for me in my development as a professional and as a therapist. So that was definitely, for myself, for my experience, the most important part of human services was the hands-on, real experience, learning how to work with people directly rather than just reading it from a book and learning what the theories and techniques are, but actually practicing it.
Sure. So After you graduated with your Bachelor of Science in Human Services,
Mhm.
you went on and you did a master's degree. So say a little bit about your master's degree, what it's in, and um, and how well you feel like you were prepared by your undergraduate degree in Human Services. Where you're smiling and ready, so I'm hoping
Yes.
that means you felt like you were well prepared. But say a little bit
Yes.
about that for us.
So I went on to get my master's in counseling at Cal State Fullerton, and our master's in counseling program is also very, very good. And the funny thing is, in most of my classes, the professors would say that human services students are boring. They're boring just because we're so well trained already.
Ah,
So,
okay.
so like I mentioned, the hands-on approach and also just like the quality of actually learning
Mhm.
like applicable skills really, really helped me out in my graduate program. And when I started, I already like felt like I was ahead of the game. I already felt
Mm.
like I was more well prepared than maybe a lot of my fellow students and colleagues.
Nice. So, did you have a favorite class or two in your undergraduate degree in human services in the major, two that you really, maybe a couple that you really, really liked?
Every
And it
class I
doesn't
took
have
with
to
you,
be,
Jim.
no, no, I was gonna say, I set myself up for that one.
I'm
No, but
just kidding.
I'd be curious, what's some of those classes in the human services degree that you really enjoyed that meant a lot to you?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the hands-on portion was what I really enjoyed. So the first class that really helped me like identify what I wanted to do was crisis intervention.
Hmm.
And crisis intervention class is a class where the students actually learn real applicable skills on how to help people who are going through a crisis, like a big trauma or a big disaster, and helping them navigate that.
Hmm.
Also, there was a program called Character in Conflict,
Hmm.
which is a program where, like as a student, is where I learned to not in a professional sense, but in a personal sense, become who I am, and go through some things that I maybe I've been through emotionally and work on myself in order to be a better version of me. And after
Hmm.
that, I was able to take group counseling classes with
Hmm.
coincidentally Jim.
Yeah.
um, where
Hmm.
again I learned very applicable skills, and actually in the character and conflict class got to sit with a group of students and practice some of these skills in order to help the students explore themselves more.
Hmm.
And those were all my favorite classes. Those are all the classes that I think really helped me develop as a therapist and really develop what I wanted to do, when I finished.
Yeah. So the people that are going to be looking at this are people who are trying to decide what it is maybe that they want to do, where it is they want to go to school,
Hmm.
what they want to major in, that sort of thing. So if you could give maybe, in particular in relationship to human services, people who
Yeah.
want to be helpers, as you described yourself, if you could give them a word of advice or a bit of encouragement, what would you want to say to somebody who's just getting started, who's just looking at maybe getting this thing going at the very get-go?
Yeah, my advice is always to just be open-minded, because I
Hmm.
know a lot of people start college thinking that they already have it all figured out, thinking that they
Hmm.
know exactly what they want to do. And that's what I loved about human services, because I was always uncomfortable with the fact that I was unsure. I was like, I know I like helping people, but I'm not sure like exactly what I want to do. So then when I went into human services, I had initially thought I maybe wanted to get into social work, maybe help communities on that scale.
Hmm.
But then taking these classes helped me learn help me figure out what my strengths are. Help me figure
Nice.
out that my strengths are that one-on-one connection that I can have with people. And when having these intimate conversations with people, helping them grow was really what my forte was.
Hmm.
So keeping an open mind helped me instead of make a decision and stick to that track. It helped me take in the experiences of the different classes I took and then make a decision from there.
Hmm.
And I think that's even after human services, what helped me be successful and what helped me feel fulfilled with what I do. Instead of having, it's good to have a skeleton of a plan. It's good to
Right.
know generally where I want to be, but being open to different experiences, because different experiences shaped my interest and shaped the way that I wanted to work and help people. And now I really do think I'm in a place where I'm using all my strengths. I'm feeling fulfilled. I'm feeling like I'm
Hmm.
really making a difference. I'm really doing something special. And I really
Yeah.
do think that what I do in my work with my clients is really something sacred and something really powerful.
Hmm. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate your time so much. And so for those of you who are watching this, if you have questions about human services, if you or anything in relationship to that, I hope you'll reach out to us. You can talk to an advisor. You can reach out to me. Again, my name's there under my at the bottom of my picture, Dr. Jim Ruby. And so my email is simply jruby, Jruby, at fullerton.edu. I hope you'll feel free to reach out, send me an email if you have any questions. We'd love to be able to tell you more about how awesome we think human services is. But I want to thank you again, Sergio,
Of
and
course.
not only for your time, but for the work that you're doing and the way in which you're doing it, and how you help our students continually to even to this day. So thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
All right.